What's up, guys? It's going to be a video for commentary for EDISON format. So I believe it was on Saturday. Yeah, it was a Saturday at 7 p.m. There was a Nintendo Switch tournament that happened in Collectibles Exchange, which happened in Fontana, California. So I'm going to provide some commentary on this particular video because I find it kind of interesting. Because it's going to be Blackwings versus, I believe it was Diva Zombies, yeah. So Diva Zombie, or no, it's actually Diva Heroes. I'm sorry. So it's a Diva Hero deck profile. So we're gonna go play the video, and then I'm gonna provide some commentary and some reaction. All right, cool. Let's start us off. So it's round 2 here. They're gonna shuffle. I think I could just skip ahead. So the Diva Hero player starts his turn first with instead of a T set. They do a 3 set. Not quite a decent. So normally, in a format where Heavy Storm is in the format, I normally don't set 2 ever. Setting 2 back row is just inviting your opponent to Heavy Storm. But sometimes you could get away with setting 2 because there's a card called Starlight Road that lets you punish Heavy Storm being played on turn 1. Yeah. Later on in the game, you could set 2 theoretically because if they didn't play Heavy Storm going first with Blackwings, most likely they didn't draw the Whirlwind either. So either they draw the Heavy Storm and the Whirlwind, or the Heavy Storm without the Whirlwind, or Whirlwind with the Heavy Storm. So that's the idea here. Yeah, so he starts off with, I believe it's either a Whirlwind or a Lord Darkness. It looks like a Whirlwind. So a very common play for Blackwing is to normal summon the Kalute under a Whirlwind. I find it more common to summon the Kalute when they have the Whirlwind than Churro over the Whirlwind. But in this case, he can either search for the Gale, or the Vayu, or the Blizzard. So he has 3 choices here. In this situation, I would probably get the Blizzard just because Blizzard is a follow-up in case Kalute dies to any sort of attack. Again, they don't know what they're playing, so that's the beauty of EDISON, is that you can only infer what they're playing based on what they do. Yeah, he does search the Blizzard.
The future to be banned because it's too freaking good.
And this tournament was heavy with Blackwings. A lot of people were playing Blackwings. It was the most popular deck in this tournament. So and it's no surprise that 2 of them made top 8, just because of the sheer numbers of them. So he sets 1, probably an Icarus, because this could technically still be a Raikou in the EDISON format. So it has to be something chainable, and my guess it's Icarus. So in the event that he flips the Raikou and destroys the Kalute, he can tribute the Kalute with Icarus and then pop 2 more cards. That's the idea. So my read is that this is an Icarus attack or an MST. Anything that's chainable, basically. So this is a very odd pass. Normally people set cards that can be flipped on their first turn, or that can float. So my guess is this is either a Pyramid Turtle or a Goblin Zombie set, but he doesn't know he's playing against zombies still. So he's doing a pass where it's inviting him not to attack this card because he wants it to be attacked, essentially. So he's thinking about an end phase Icarus attack, I'm assuming. It's most likely what's going to happen here. Yeah, so he Icarus attacked, probably thinks to blow up the back row so that he can summon the Blizzard safely. So a lot of end phase stuff happening. Yeah, so normally I don't advise showing the other card destroyed, just because he might have had something, but yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, he destroyed it anyways, and he wing blasted the blizzard here. So he wastes 3 cards while he wastes 3 cards as well. He wastes the whirlwind, and he wastes the Icarus attack, and he wastes the bird. So it was a trade for 3 for 3. For those of you guys that don't know, you can actually play around oppression by putting whirlwind as chain link 2, because this creates something called SEGOC. It's an acronym that says it's called simultaneous effect goes on chain, and in EDISON format, SEGOC is a little bit different. You can design the chain where, well, actually, even the new SEGOC rules, you can design the chain where Blizzard is chain link 1 and Whirlwind is chain link 2, so that they can't royal oppression the Blizzard. But that's all it does. I mean, if you synchro summon after Blizzard, then yeah, you can oppression there. But for other purposes where you want your Icarus live, you can actually use the Blizzard to Blizzard to dodge the royal oppression. So he searches for value because that's his only target, and then he brings out the Clute because it's his only target. So here he can, knowing that it's a set card that wants to be attacked, he can either make a Catastor or Android and pass, or he could just set an Icarus, another Icarus attack, but I wouldn't advise that. So other level 5s, I can't think of another level 5 besides Android and Catastor. So it looks like he sets another card. So he feels safe now to set this card because he knows that this card is not a Raikou. It's a card that wants to be attacked. So this is probably a card that's like a battle trap, most likely. And it's definitely not an MST because, well, it could be an MST if he end-phase sets it. So that could be an MST as well. Alright, so we're gonna skip ahead. Actually, we don't have to. Yeah, so it looks like when he flipped the card, it looked like a Snowman here. And yeah, so I can see why he doesn't want to flip it, because Snowman here is 0 attack. So it's a card that, like I said before, wants to be flipped. And Snowman here is historically good against Blackwings because it trades really well. So he summons the Stratos, and the effect in summon is clear. Likely gonna search for Diamond Dude. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of strange tech to play in Diva Heroes. Just by looking at it, he plays a lot of traps already. So, and he plays monsters. It's very unlikely for him to reach this spell card. So he swings into the Blizzard. Now he's probably contemplating, because wasting like a battle trap on this is like a neg, because he got a +1 off of this. But if he doesn't use it, then he loses the Blizzard. So that's the downside of that. And Blizzard cannot be revived from the graveyard by other Blizzards. Yeah, so he's inviting him to waste the Clute here. Okay, so it was actually an Icarus attack. So he inferred that this was yeah, I don't know. That was actually interesting that he set the Icarus attack here, but it's okay. It's still something.
Actually, still in damage. We're gonna do
So now his Miracle Fusion is live, if he ever draws it.
It's until end of turn.
And it looks like he has a heavy monster hand, because he just kept all his cards in his hand without setting. So he tributes the Blizzard for Sirocco, so they can get a fresh new batch of birds. Yeah, one thing I hate about Blackwings is drawing multiple Sirokkos, just because he can't be special summoned, and he can only be normal summoned if your opponent has a monster and you don't. So that's one of the downsides of playing pure Blackwings, is drawing multiple copies of Sirocco. So he tributes over for Sirocco, and he searches for Shura.
Yeah. Okay. That first damage. Oh, think you've taken anything I have. Yeah. That's first damage, right?
Okay, first damage 6,000. So he draws his Miracle Vision, so which means that his Absolute Zero is now alive. Special summons the Evil Hero. Normal summons Diva. Okay. Okay, so it looks like he's trying to go for the Colossal Fighter Armory Arm combo. One thing to note is you have to keep track of the number of warriors in your graveyard when you do this. So if you synchro with this guy, that's one warrior, and this is another warrior, and that's another warrior. So Colossal Fighter is going to go up to 3,100 attack. So one thing you have to be careful with is if you make a Colossal Fighter Armory Arm combo, you have to make sure that the opponent's monster is going to be bigger than your Colossal Fighter when you equip Armory Arm to it. So the Armory Arm is going to make this guy a 3,000 attack. Even then, I probably wouldn't have gone this route just because he does have a back row. So it's a pretty dangerous route. Then makes the Armory Arm here. So I'm guessing since he didn't respond to these to the Armory Arm summon with a third Icarus attack, it kind of suggests that this is not a Book of Moon or an Icarus attack, and it might be a dud card or a battle trap. Sorry, it might be a battle trap card. Hey, it makes the Colossal Fighter. So this Colossal Fighter is a 3,100 attack monster. So I think he was excited to do this combo on the opponent without realizing there are kind of like there's kind of like little things you have to watch out for, such as a back row, and on top of the fact that these guys are warriors. He does have a Miracle Fusion that allows him to take warriors out of the graveyard. Yeah. And that would reduce this attack by 100. So it would be a 3,000 attack monster. So that's going to be equal to the Sirocco.
Still using the too many.
So he has to go a different route where he has to swing with Absolute Zero.
25.
Very risky play. I mean, this could have been a Mirror Force. And if you were going to go the route where you can burn your life point to death, this should have been at least a Stardust.
So you take 18? Had one less, man. No, this one's for this guy. Yeah. I was one away. I was one too many heroes away from having it.
Cool thing about Absolute Zero is that if he dies by combat from or battle by Sirocco and Kalut, he actually destroys the Sirocco in the process. So that's why he attacked with the Absolute Zero, which is a good play. So he looks like he draws into the brain control here.
Oh, wait, hold up. How much do you take on this? There should have been 3. Because there's 2 warriors.
Alright, so he takes another 200. Okay. So even if he brain controls and he crashes the Absolute Zero into the Colossal Fighter, he's going to actually take damage with the Armory Arm. But on top of that, Absolute Zero doesn't trigger because it is sent to his graveyard and it would only destroy his monster. So the brain control is useless here. Well, it's not too useless. I mean, you can get an Absolute Zero off the field, but it's kind of useless. Actually, he would lose. He would just straight up lose because of the Armory Arm if he brain controls this and swings into it. Yeah, so even Goyo Guardian can't even steal this either. Yeah, it's a pretty bad position for him.
No, he's at 3.
He doesn't gain.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So he's at 4,000.
4,000, yeah. So he's reading the card. I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead just to see if they can do a play. Okay, he brain controls. I'm not sure what he decides to brain control here. His opponent just gave him the Colossal Fighter.
Excuse me? He dropped back to 38.
He should
Oh no, sorry, yeah. I'm dumb. Ignore me.
So he's not 4K.
Yeah.
Oh, enter back?
Sure.
Take 15.
So yeah, so this, I guess I did overlook a fact. If he destroys the Absolute Zero here, oh, actually no, it doesn't matter.
Was the Armory Arm? That's weird. So you actually hold up. You take that.
Yeah, he would take the damage.
So he's getting his stuff. Yeah. So you take an extra 25.
So 25, 15, right?
Yeah. So you should be at 2,000.
Yeah. Wait.
So I'm at what? 2,000?
2,000. So my 19.
It did it again.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. So if he brain controls Colossal Fighter, the Armory Arm. Let me read Armory Arm. This is new for me. So let's read Armory Arm here. Armory Arm. And we're going to read the old text, which is the Yusei Fudo version. It says, once per turn, you can equip this monster while equipped to a monster by this effect. While the equipped the target gains, if that target destroys a monster by battle, so it doesn't matter whose monster it battles, and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent. Okay, so since he controls the Armory Arm, the guy that attacked with the Colossal Fighter over the Absolute Zero, was it? Oh yeah, so nothing happens because no, he should have taken the opponent, or the guy who used brain control should have taken 25k worth of damage. So I'm not sure why they didn't do that. But in the future, that's what would happen because he's the controller of the Armory Arm still, even after the brain control.
Like, what the heck? 3,000? Sure.
And Absolute Zero, let me read Absolute Zero. I'm pretty sure Absolute Zero is sent to the opponent's graveyard, or your graveyard, so it doesn't trigger. Let's see here. So Absolute Zero, OTS. When this card leaves the field, destroy all your opponent controls, or all monsters your opponent controls. Since this is going to your opponent's graveyard and it activates in the graveyard, I'm pretty sure he doesn't lose his Colossal Fighter in this combo. So just a little forewarning for you guys if that ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that right, though? Yeah, it is. I'll just move it over here.
Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. So the Absolute Zero is sent from his side of the field to the graveyard. So then it triggers a blow up the Colossal Fighter. Yeah, so that's actually illegal. It's just that he would have taken the burn damage for 25 8. So he would have been at 200, not 27. So he summons the Shura, gets a search. How much damage did they take?
Yeah.
So he took 800 for brain. Yeah, he would have lost actually. So this game should have been in this guy's should be given this guy after the Colossal Fighter. Colossal Fighter to the Absolute Zero.
Sometimes it just like if I hear it when you go down the trend line, then you just lose your whole game.
I didn't do any sacrifice. I didn't turn you on. 23 direct? I don't play that many.
So an important thing to note is that this card still hasn't been activated. So this is a really it's not a battle trap. It might just be an MST if I had to guess. Because he hasn't set any back rows since then, since he set this card.
Still game 2 and 3. Special.
The special's the Inferno Prodigy. Okay.
What a game though.
Going for the third Diva. Or he can go with Spine Gilmet too. I guess that's another one. So here he can make either an android to run over the Shura, or he can make a level 7 Black Rose. So there's a lot of level 7 targets you can also make too. Yeah, so it looks like he wants to go for the Black Rose. Oh yeah, I guess it could also be a Starlight Road 2 set. No, it's not. Let's see what it is. Yeah, it looks like it was an MST after all. Okay. Okay, with 3,000 life points, even a Goyo Guardian can't finish him off unless he has Kalute in hand. No, he would need Arm Wing with Kalute to finish him off. Yeah, so he does have an Arm Wing, and most likely he has a Kalute.
24.
23.
Oh, 23? Yeah. Just can't read today, man. No, you're good. I can't read today, is the problem, apparently. 23, right?
Yeah, that was good. You're at 2,000.
Where did I take the extra 1,000 from?
It looks like there was a discrepancy in life points.
2,000 in the beginning, and then you took 4K off the Colossal play.
So that puts me at 2,000. Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, I see. So he's under the impression that he lost life points from the Armory Arm. But that's not the case.
I'm at
Okay, so this, yeah, that's a great learning video. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next game. I think I'm probably going to take a while to side deck. While they're side decking, let's think of ways, cards that they might side against each other. So on the left side, they're playing Blackwings, and he's playing zombies. Or he's not playing zombies, he's playing Diva Heroes. Good side deck choices are probably DD Crow, just for the Miracle Fusion. If they flip it, they can Crow the hero target or the water target, so they can't resolve Miracle Fusion. That's one. And since he's probably going second, and he knows he plays back row, probably keep the Storm in, and probably some other stuff. Icarus Attack's a good card to keep. Yeah. And from the Diva Hero side, same since you're going first, I don't know, maybe some cards that can just deal with back row, so that your Colossal Fighter Armory Arm combo can go through. Phoenix Wind Blast is good to bounce back rows. Cyber Dragon's really good against birds, just because it forces a trade. Okay, and he's pretty large, 2,100 over the Shuras or even the Sirocco is pretty good. Helps your Synchro plays a little better. You can make a Black Rose. And it looks like he showed to the camera that he set out Snowmander out, which I don't suggest, just because birds hate Snowmander. The 1900 defense is relevant. Alright, so they're starting the next game, and he is going first. He sets a bottomless. He sets another card, I don't know. And lower down the volume here. Okay, cool. So he sets, and he doesn't have a monster. So what does this telegraph to the opponent? So this telegraphs to the opponent that he doesn't play he doesn't have anything in the hand that he wants to commit to the board to Ashura. That's basically what this telegraphs. And if it is something, right? If it is a monster in his hand, it's a monster that is like a Caius to tribute, or it's like a bunch of miracle fusions. A lot of spells.
I should know this really quick. Jenny stays.
But I did see a Deep Sea Diva in his hand, so he could have made a Catastor, but Catastor's not so good against birds because they're all black or dark types.
A risk of a -5 is not worth it.
Oh, I forgot to mention. So, when you're doing the Colossal Fighter Army Arm combo, you also have to make sure you have enough life points, because you are essentially crashing a smaller monster into a bigger monster. So just make sure that when you do that, you have enough life points to sustain the damage, because you're taking whatever amount of damage times the amount that it's required to take out their life points. So we see here that he summons a Fossildyna, so to stop his special summoning. And usually in this case he has back row to protect this, so most likely battle traps. And it looks like he only has one battle trap. Okay, so that's really bad to the MST. Yep. So now he can just easily summon. Okay, so I can see why he didn't summon the Diva, because he drew the Spine Gilman. That's tragic. But at least he has a way to clear the Fossildyna. I normally wouldn't summon the Fossildyna if I only had one back row, especially with the two set here. Fossildyna does have a flip effect. A lot of people don't know that or remember that, but if it flips, you can destroy all special summon monsters. And since this is kind of like a combo deck, I can see that being useful. Okay, so he sets two more back row. So this kind of infers that either this card, or one of the three is a Starlight Road. But since he set two in the beginning, this is probably a Starlight Road, as opposed to these two. Or unless he drew into a Starlight Road, he could set, or Starlight Road is one of these two. It's hard to say, but I'm assuming this is Starlight Road right here. Okay, that's pretty bad. So he didn't draw any birds, and he only set one card to the Spine Gilman. So this tells me that either he drew the Bora, but he couldn't attack. He could summon it and attack and crash, or he could just leave it there for it to be attacked. But I'm assuming he also didn't draw Bora either. So my guess is he drew a lot of Blizzards with no Icarus attack. Yeah, because Gale can also run this over as well. So either he drew a hand of full of spells and traps, or he drew a hand where it's all Blizzards with no Icarus. So he summons Diva, and he's calling effect. No effect, okay. Going for the Android or the Catastor here. Because Bottomless is at 2 in this game, I wouldn't just straight out just summon a monster. I would actually poke for 17, and I believe he pumps up Deep Sea Diva as well by 400, so it would be 600. So he can do a total of 2300 damage, the same amount Catastor, or actually just middle between Catastor and Android, and then Synchro Summon to force the Bottomless or the Oppression. So it looks like it doesn't respond with this back row, which tells me it might be a battle trap. Okay, he takes it. Okay, so this is actually just a dud card. I wonder what it is. Could be a spell. And he's committing more to the back row, so definitely telling your opponent that this might be a Starlight Road. And he dust shoots. Okay, so one of the things I have with dust shoot is that there's a ruling where if you had a chainable, if you're the turn player and they flip Dust Shoot, and you had a chainable card that makes you go down from 4 to 3 or to 2 even, you have player priority to take the card out of your hand before they can Dust Shoot, right? So as the non-turn player, advanced ruling is you have to ask your opponent if they're passing priority in the draw phase, right? And then if they say pass priority, you can then Dust Shoot. Otherwise, this creates kind of like a situation where it's like, well, I had MST, I wanted to use it, or I had something to take a card out of my hand, I wanted to use it to reduce my hand to 3 so that you can't Dust Shoot me. So just a little FYI for all you guys, to make sure that you ask your opponent, if you have the Dust Shoot, you ask your opponent if they pass priority on the draw phase, okay? So yeah, anyways, let's go on. It looks like he didn't have any quick play anyways. So we see the hand now. Let's see if my prediction was right. Let's go back a little. Okay, so he had, I think he drew into the value, and he had Collude. All right, let me think about that. So he didn't. If he had the Collude, yeah, it makes sense that he didn't summon the Collude to attack the Guildman because the Guildman's at 1700. So, and he had the Blizzard like I anticipated. So he could have summoned the Blizzard, and if he attacked with Android into the Blizzard, Collude would have dealt with the Android. So I guess that could have been a cool play. So now he puts the Fossil Dino away, which means he can Mind Control and then summon Blizzard to Synchro. This is his only play. So he does not like Fossil Dino, even though he can easily clear it. Actually, I guess if he set the Fossil Dino, it would blow up the Android. Okay. You can also just pass and take the 24. Okay, it looks like he just sets the monster, most likely a value. So this set card might be an Icarus, but he would have done that. He would have set a monster last turn. That's right. If you're playing against Blackwing, Starlight Road actually hurts Icarus attack. So that's another one.
You have to activate it? No, I think it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. You have to gain 600 life points.
It's mandatory? Yeah. Yes.
Oh, they gain the 600. So he knows his hand now, so it's safe to attack the monster. They Wing Blasts the set card. Okay, he puts the value back on top. Attacks for 24. Okay. And now he knows he's going to draw into a value again. Interesting enough, with Wing Blast, you can actually put back a card back to the top of the deck and Mind Crush it. That's interesting. I forgot about that combo. It's been a while since I played Goat. Okay, so he draws the value again. That's the value back. Okay. So it looks like he's having trouble summoning a monster, or having another monster. So he's just gonna attack the value. Value dies. Setting more back row. Okay. No fear. Okay, he summons the Sheriff, so he finally draws a bird that he can use with Collude. So that was a really good top deck for him. However, oh, it was a bottomless. Okay, so we can now predict that these two are, one of these two is Starlight Road or Solemn Judgment. I forgot about Solemn Judgment. Yeah, so the bottomless is good here because I think he read that this was an Icarus attack, which is why he did it. He summons Armageddon Knight, summoning monsters into a potential torrential, but he could have torrentialed somewhere else, I guess. So he gives them the game. Now we go to game 3. Yay, cool. Also, he forgot to gain life points off the android after turn 2, or after the second turn of being alive. I do remember him having a clue. Did he use it? I remember him having a blizzard, so instead of setting the value, probably it would have been better to set the colute. And if they killed the colute, you can summon the blizzard to bring back the colute to, I don't know, make something. Yeah, then that would have forced the bottomless, and his Shura would have been live. Yeah, his Shura would have been okay. But I think he wanted to keep the Shura for the colute. He wanted to keep the colute for the Shura in case he drew it, and he did draw it. So that's a tough one. Let's go to game. So now that it's going to game 3, it's hard to. Oh, he's probably going to side cards to deal with more back row, because I think he sides in he keeps the Starlight Road or the Solemn, and he has to find ways to deal with the back row besides Icarus attack.
I apologize.
Smashing Ground's on another good side deck against birds, just because you can bait out, or you can stop the Icarus attack from resolving, because you can just kill their only bird in attack mode. Okay, so birds are gonna go first. Just a friendly reminder for those of you guys who are joining from Advanced to Edison for your first time, you do get to draw until you have 6 cards on your first turn. So if you guys are used to Advanced, that's a little kind of friendly reminder that you can actually draw on your first turn. Okay, so he activates a lure, and he's just debating on which bird to banish. He banishes the value. He draws a whirlwind, and he summons. Sure. Okay, perfect opening. Perfect opening. So now he's probably debating on whether he wants to search for the Bora, and he does. Go down the chain. Okay, and let's see if he has back row. So if you're the player going second, Smashing Ground is really good here because it basically nullifies a potential Icarus, and you can actually set back row. Even if you had Starlight Road, it wouldn't matter because Icarus attack would just destroy it on the end phase. But since you don't have the Smashing Ground and you didn't side it, you're kind of forced to summon a monster into a back row. And Shura can beat over any monster, including Catastrophe with Colute. Most monsters, sorry. DD Warrior Lady is actually pretty good against into the Shura. Or even a set Raikou. If he had sided in his Snowman Eaters, setting one Snowman Eater into the Shura is actually pretty good too. But I think he kept it in his side deck, if I had to guess. But that's also good too, because the Snowman Eater's 1900 defense can actually clear the Shura. His Bora doesn't actually deal with the Snowman Eater. And Snowman Eater also clears the any Synchro plays that isn't Stardust. So there's that. So it looks like he might go for like a Mind Control, Brain Control play. But if you do that, I would have done it first. So I'm not sure why he did this. Did it this way because if he Mind Controls now, he could just chain the Icarus to destroy these two. Mind Control or Brain Control. Yeah, so he has the Brain. And now if this was an Icarus, now he could have chained it to destroy these two, but it's not. That's what I would have done first, is Mind Control and then Brain. Because if he Brain Controls first, then there's really no target for him to Icarus attack. But now he can infer, without a doubt, that this is not Icarus attack. So here he can make a Goyo Guardian and make a level 8 Synchro. Or he can just attack first. Yeah, that's a good one.
damage on being attacks. When you said attack, it's like, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so here he could attack first, but if he attacks with Diva, actually it doesn't matter. He can attack with both of them, and if he gets Mirror Force, he loses the bird in this, and he has a monster in defense mode. So I would attack first. But another thing is, if he does attack and he removes this with Deep Prison, and he's forced to synchro, I don't know, it's tough. Maybe he prisons this and then leave the Diva in attack mode so that he can summon another shard to run over the Diva. So that's what he should do if he has a battle trap. And he keeps the specific board here. Okay, so he goes for either Urquazes, Goyo Guardian, or Brio. He goes for Brio. He's calling priority to bounce because he has the malicious, and it was bottomless. Okay. So it was a bottomless, pretty good. But now he has the malicious that he can use to make a level 8 synchro here. Okay, makes a malicious play, and here he can synchro into Stardust. But I wouldn't recommend Stardust just because he has Whirlwind. Here the best play is probably Colossal Fighter, just because Whirlwind can deal with Stardust with getting Gale and running it over with Armor Master. You know, there's a lot of different things, but Colossal Fighter is actually the best here, if I were him. Unless you have back row. Yeah, I guess that's the other caveat to it. The Stardust might be a little better. But knowing what I know, Colossal Fighter is probably the best move. I don't think there's a Synchro monster that can beat over Colossal. Except for Red Dragon Archfiend. So he goes for the Stardust play, knowing with the Whirlwind out, and he has a Boro in hand. So he goes to swing for 25 hit, so he has to have at least some back row to protect the Stardust. Like an MST even. Like an MST to the Whirlwind would actually be pretty good. Or a Whirlwind, or a Wing Blast, something. Okay, he draws for turn. He does shoots. Okay, so that gives him a little bit of information here. So it looks like he already had the Gale, so even if this was an MST, the Gale would have had the Stardust, so yeah. For having Fossil Dynast is really good against against Colossal Fighter, so I guess that's an out.
This one that pumps, right?
But he had a hand that can deal with any Synchro monster. But I think I would rather prefer that he sets the Dyna to the Colossal Fighter than him summoning birds to attack over the Stardust. Yeah, this is a tough decision for him. So he puts away the Sirocco. So now he can summon the Blizzard, or the Bora. Search for the Blizzard. Special Gale. Half the Stardust. Attack. You can also search for Colute here too, if you really wanted to. There's no need.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't see the Whirlwind. I was like, oh, it's really not sticky.
Wait, there's other ways too. There's other ways to get a guy killed it. You could have just gone Gale, Bora, and then put these Armor Master too.
I mean, he could just keep the Gale and the Bora on field and
half it, and then
no need a.
Okay, and then he specials the Gale, half the Stardust. And then now it's at 1250. So just in the event that he does have Gores in his hand, it's actually best to attack with the Bora first and then the Gale, because the token will be at 1300. Had he attacked with Gale into the Stardust and then Bora, the token would be at 1700. So yeah, he did the attack order correctly.
the annoying 50.
There's also Tragodia in this game too. So the attack order would have been different. If you suspect he has a Tragodia, and you know that there's a Gorgon Grave, for example, then attacking with Gale into the Stardust for 50 life points, he drops Trag. I think he can run over with Bora. So that's the downside of attacking the attack order in this direction. But most of the time you're afraid of the Gores because he's a +1, and he's a really big monster.
50 life points apart. Come on, against Dennis?
Okay, he passes with no back row. So it looks like he doesn't want to go into Armor Master, which is kind of strange to me. Maybe Armor Master is vulnerable to Absolute Zero, I guess. But even then, Absolute Zero is still a threat. It's tough. I would say Armor Master was the correct play here, unless his life point was too low for Brain Control. But he already used Brain Control, so I'm not too sure why he didn't make Armor Master. Maybe he's anticipating that he's going to get a Dark Arm at the top of the deck, and then he doesn't want to contribute more Dark monsters. Yeah, I'm not too sure. And he doesn't have Collude in hand, so these birds are most likely going to go away. Any good play. He's probably going to foolish a hero here for Miracle Fusion to be live, because he already used Malicious. No, he already has a Malicious Engrave, so I'm not sure what he's trying to foolish here. Oh, Plague, okay. Right. So here he can make a Goyo Guardian play. Or he doesn't do anything. He just sets 2. So he sets 2. That's a tough one. So it's most likely spell cards. These are 2 spell cards. Only because he set the Dust Shoot under the Stardust, which suggests to me that these are actually spell cards. Because if they were trap cards, he would have set them along with the Stardust. And then most likely he top decked the Foolish, because he would have Foolished last turn. Yeah, he would have Foolished last turn. So these are most likely 2 spell cards that he cannot use. And I'm guessing it's not Miracle Fusion, because he has a Malicious Engrave and a Water Monster. So it has to be some kind of spell cards that can't be used. I'm not sure. Let's find out. So he swings with both, yep. And there were cards that he could not use. Spell cards that he cannot use, I can't think of one. Okay, it looks like it was a trap that he drew a Bottomless. Huh, that's a little weird. So he had Bottomless and he didn't want to set it underneath Stardust. That's a little weird. Okay, so Icarus is its target's 2 back row, Soul Release, and Heavy Storm. Okay. So he had the Heavy Storm. He could have used it to blow out his Icarus and his Whirlwind. So I'm not sure what he was thinking. And then the Bottomless, if he had drawn into the Bottomless, I understand that he would set it. But if he had it with the Stardust, there was no reason not to set the Bottomless, because you can essentially stop the Whirlwind search. So yeah. Anyways, it looks like this was round 2, so it makes sense that that these players would come into contact with each other. All right. If you guys enjoy the videos, just try to leave a thumbs up on the video or a comment, or see where I could have done better on the commentary. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.